Hi guys, good afternoon, good morning. This is Jonathan Ribble. Um, Again, just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. I've been reading a book. Um, Highly recommend it by Peter Voogd. Um, First of all, I like this quote that just came up here. A real leader isn't somebody who develops the most followers. A real leader is somebody who develops the most leaders. And the title of this is about generating leads and more customers. Um, First of all, I'm going to cover something today about knowing your ideal client. I encourage you all to go to extensio.com. That's Extensio. And you can look it up on Google. There's a persona, it's a free persona that you can do. It's take some time and learn who your ideal client is. If you don't focus on the ideal, you're going to end up working with the ordeal and you're going to want a new deal. So know who your ideal client is. Take some time, take some time, get disciplined in this. What type of leads do you want? What type of customers do you want? Who are your ideal customers? Those types of things. So focus on that. Really know who your ideal client is. So the second thing is prospecting. Uh, Now, when I got into the virtual world, get in some groups, be posting videos that are valuable. If you're going to be a coach, then coach. Now, man, I can tell you that when you first start in this business, you're going to you've got to have intention. Without intention, you're going to end up with tension, guys. You got to have a solid intention of what it is that you want. And let me just make sure my lives are going through here. Um, let's see here. Yep, it's on. So just got to make sure I use StreamYard, guys. So technology is a wonderful thing. But again, first step is know your ideal client. The other thing is, if you're just depending on virtual leads, okay, in your timeline, we become what we think about and we attract that which we're like. So most of the time in your timeline, unless you're just starting from scratch and you're building your timeline on existing of on your ideal client. But most people who get into this, they already have, say, 400 people in their timeline, and they had no intention of marketing to their timeline. And now all of a sudden they're forced into something called virtual life coaching or virtual business coaching. And they think that social media, it's called grassroots marketing. You have to understand that grassroots marketing is going to be just that. You're going to get grass. Okay. You're going to have a nice lawn, but grassroots marketing, it takes time to build that lawn. But if you really want to dress up the house, I mean, grass is cheap. You, You get grass seed anywhere, guys. Um, and I'm not talking about the excuse me, I'm not talking about the stuff you smoke. I'm talking about the stuff you have on your lawn. Grassroots marketing is now it doesn't it looks like my stream is not going through very well. Let's see. Um, looks like that one's working. So anyway, what I was talking about is I'm trying to make sure that all these streams are going the right direction. So technology is a wonderful thing when it works. Um, anyway, as I was saying, know your ideal client. Number two, if it's just social media that you're using, that is what I call grassroots marketing. There's going to be some other ways to do your marketing. If you're going to be a life coach or a salesperson or anything, whatever it is that you are trying to build in, you have to expand kind of sometimes in your mind, like business coaching. Um, or life coaching, you're going to have to go out to where people are at in the physical world as well. Now, unfortunately, with COVID-19, that's where nobody's done this before. We've never been here before. So, guys, there's no real solution. There's no real solution. I've just read in this book called 6 Months to Six Figures that it is what worked 5 to 10 years ago isn't going to work this year. What worked in 2019 isn't going to work this year, isn't going to work in 2021. What worked in 2020 probably isn't going to work the same way as it did in 2020 and 2021. So you have to understand that. So, first of all, who's your ideal client? Where does your ideal client, are they located? Okay, if you're going to go in the virtual world, what groups are you in? Again, just because you're in a group does not mean your ideal client is in that group. Where is your ideal client? Okay, if your ideal client is a business professional and they already have some level of success, they're already earning over 6 figures a year. Do you think they're going to join a group called Think and Grow Rich? Chances are likely not. How you figure? Do you think they're going to join a group called Small Business and Entrepreneurs? Chances are likely not. Really? Really? They're going to be in associations, guys. They're going to be in are you joining the groups where they hang out, like the Rotary clubs? The Rotary clubs, guys, are where your professionals are. Do you have a LinkedIn page? Have you optimized it? Are you, do you have a website that drives traffic to you when they come to your website? Have you funneled it in such a way that it's going to bring people into your sales funnel and get them to buy from you before you even talk to them? Have you created such a system? Uh, so know your ideal client, know where they are, know where they are. That's a big key. Know where they are. Just because you're in a group doesn't mean your ideal client is going to be in that group. For instance, I'm part of the Get Ahead Challenge in a coaching business. Well, my ideal client is not in that group because my ideal client is going to be in, say, a Rotary club or a Lions club. Anywhere there's philanthropy going on is probably where my ideal client is going to be. So, have you contacted associations to speak for them? Have you contacted organizations to do some pro bono work for them? Um, have you joined some associations like nonprofit community help associations? Just because every group is not going to be your ideal client. Where you like to congregate doesn't mean that's where your ideal client likes to congregate. Doesn't mean you won't get clients out of that group, but they won't probably be long lasting because they can't afford your services on a longevity basis. They only have so much income. But if you're going after people that have some level of success, maybe feel stuck in certain areas, then you may need to change the group that you're a part of and always present things of value. Another thing is if you're going to be joining groups to try to generate interest in your product offering, is you need to respect the house that you're in. You need to respect the house that you're in. Don't join a group to just kind of proselytize. In other words, don't steal from the group that you're in. Here's a good rule of thumb. Give more to the group than you take. Give value. If you're going to do a video, make sure that there is some value in what you're saying. Give value. And then if that person that's watching your video will respond to you, then leave it up to them to send you a friend request, not necessarily the other way around, because you're sending a friend request. And always, when I first got into social media, guys, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I had to learn really fast and took a lot of classes and a lot of courses on this stuff and really spent hundreds to thousands on learning this. That's why I do what I do now with helping people build their funnels. So when you do social media, you can send people to somewhere. So if you go to jonathanribble.com, you'll learn more about me and what I do. Before I even get a chance to talk to you, you can go to jonathanribble.com and learn what we do. And what we do is we coach businesses on generating leads, and we also coach people on how to build a funnel. We also build funnels for people. We build websites and we do graphics design. We do logos and things like that. But notice here, I'm branding jonathanribble.com. Hopefully, you'll see some value and you'll understand what I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. But when I first got into social media, I was like, well, I come from the old school networking, right? What a way to network. I just figured, just click, 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 click. Just build up your network, right? Wrong. Because you just build up your network with people that are just like you. And you don't want to go to people that are just like you. You want to expand your territory. You want to expand your horizons. You want to elevate, get a little higher. So especially if your ideal client is someone, my ideal client is potentially an entrepreneur or a business owner that has had some level of success. And even if they're just starting out, they're willing to invest in themselves and they're willing to invest in their life and in their career. So my ideal client is not somebody that sits around and says, I can't afford this and I can't afford that and I can't afford this. That's not my ideal client. My ideal client is somebody that realizes and recognizes that there is a cost to doing business, and they spend their time. They're a plumber. They're not a web designer. They're not a lead generation expert. They don't have all the expertise, and they don't want to sit around and learn all the expertise either, because it doesn't make their money. It takes their money. So so these are the things you have to do. Recognize who your ideal client is going to be. Is it going to be somebody that can afford your services, or is it going to be somebody that you're always having to do pro bono work for, or free work, or close to free, or you're always having to lower your price versus going to the person that can do what you want them to do. So that's why it's, again, a good idea to sit down and figure out who your ideal client is going to be. Okay. And then focus on where do you send them once you have them. So add value wherever you go. But when I first got into this, I was like, just make a friend request, make a friend request, make a friend request. And I was kind of spamming friend requests when I first got into the social media thing. And you cannot do that. You don't just, if somebody likes your video, they like your video. That really doesn't mean anything. They just like it. That's it. They're not really, you don't know them. You haven't done any research on them. Now, if they will ask me for a friend request, I will do what I can to try to foster a relationship with that person. Or if they make a comment on my video, I'll say, hi, this is Jonathan Ribble. Thanks for watching my video. I appreciate it. I appreciate your comments. Would love to connect with you sometime if you're open. That's it. That's all I do. And then if they send me a friend request, I say, thanks for the friend request. What's prompting the request? They tell me. I said, great. Love to have a video chat with you sometime. Since I got into this, I think I have like 1,600 people in my timeline now. When I first started in the social media world, really going after building up my repertoire, if you will, I had about 800 friends that, were just throughout the years but in like from March until now, I think I've added 800, and I think I've had close to 450 video chats with people. So I actually know at least 400 to 500 people. I'm not that have had contact with me at some point or another. So that's what I would recommend. So the other thing is advertising, guys. Learn advertising. And if you can't learn it, I mean, it's so ambiguous with the internet, social media, things like that. Nothing works the same for everybody. When I first got into this, I thought, well, I used to do radio and TV advertising. I used to sell it. And radio and TV is a lot different than internet advertising. What works on the radio and TV just will not work for social media. And you've got to keep in mind, if you're going to advertise on Facebook, your advertisements on Facebook need to be engaging. They need to be provocative, and they need to be friendly. And you have to have something that people will really want. And it's going to take about, probably 7 to 15 impressions before somebody will respond to your ad. So they got to see it on a regular basis. And so that means you're going to have to, because on Facebook, people don't come to Facebook searching for your service. Google advertising, on the other end, on how is people are out there actively searching for different keywords. So my advice to you is, if you're not very familiar with this stuff, focus on what makes you money and let the people that sell these services, it's what they do on a regular basis, help you get where you want to be. And that's what we do. We help people get where they want to be. So these are just a few tips. I hope that they've helped in some way, fashion, or another. But number one, know your ideal client. Number two, know where they gather. Go where they gather. Not go where you gather, because you are not your ideal client. You may look like your ideal client. You may talk like your ideal client, but you are not your ideal client. I'm somebody else's ideal client, but I'm not mine. So who's your ideal client? They're probably not just like you. They may have some similar interest, but they're not like you. except, so you have to understand that where are you going to congregate? So there's going to be some associations out there, some different types of groups. If you're business owners, business owners like to golf. So you might want to get into some golfing groups. Just talk about golf. Just talk about golf games. Maybe you're not familiar with it, but you can learn it. And you could build friends through gaming networks and things like that. Just different ideas for you. In the physical realm, there is also what we call lead generation. The old school lead generation is by putting out lead boxes. You can go to leadboxes.com. I don't make any money on it, but leadboxes.com will give you it will sell you some little lead boxes, and you can put those out at different restaurants and different places, and you just work out a relationship with the place that you place those in, and you can get some leads through that, and you contact the people and see what you can sell them or see what services you can provide. So again, know your ideal client, know where they gather, go where they gather, and really buckle down and figure out prospecting. And if you don't have someplace nice to send them to, find a professional to help you get help you put it together. So I hope these things have helped. And my name is Jonathan Ribble. You guys take care and have a great day, and God bless.